What's up, my folks? I hope y'all are doing good. Had a lot of emails about this little dog here when I was going to breed Go-Go. She's in heat now. This is her third heat now. I'm going to let her get through this heat, and then I'm going to hunt her so I know how I can breed her. So I really don't got no idea what she's going to be about. You know, she might be if she performs a certain way, I want to breed her to a certain male. You know, I got to match them up. That's how I breed dogs. But it'll be a while. It'll be hopefully I can get a good idea of what I'm working with by next heat, and I'll breed her. If she's got a lot of talent and she's fast like Cherry and producing that, I mean, has that in her, I might go back to Buster with her, but it'll be a while because she's in her third right now, her third heat, and she just started bleeding. And I mean, she ain't swollen yet, but she's just in a drip. Um, so, and I'll give her a month or so off before I even start taking her to the woods. But I've been walking her and getting her ready. She's I ain't no doubt. I'm pretty sure she's gonna be a pretty good little dog though, but we'll see. I mean, I hate to put the cart before the horse. You know what I mean? Um, you know, it's funny. You get these guys. There's this term peddler that gets thrown around a lot with dog breeders. Especially some of these old timers that's been around a lot longer than me publicly with them, and um, hell, I even had an old boy call me one. They get mad at you, and that's what they are. Usually, people that are calling folks peddlers, it's because they got shit no one wants. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants their bullshit anyway, so they got to talk that shit. There's a whole fucking. It takes a lifetime to learn how to truly breed dogs to work. Working dogs and is one of the hardest to keep consistent. You know what I mean? And good and quality. And the thing about these dogs is if these dogs don't work in the woods, you ain't gonna get no repeat customers. 80% of my people that buy dogs from me are hunters. And I'd say 80% of them will come back. I ain't had too many dogs that weren't good or weren't better than average. You know what I mean? And I've had quite a few firecrackers that people are ecstatic with. So, I mean, that's how you stay in business. Them guys has been in business since the 70s and the 80s, breeding, and I don't know anybody that breeds dogs that don't sell a few puppies here and there, you know, unless they're starting out or, got a big combine of people or whatever. But I mean, we all have to, pay for the dogs. But yeah, that's the key to it. You ain't gonna be in business. Them guys that people, I'm not even gonna say names, but all of them, any of the YouTube breeders, if they've been in business selling dogs, puppies, they must be selling something that somebody wants. That's all there is to it. You know what I mean? So just take that with the way it is. It's always that motherfucker says that shit. He got some bullshit to know what he wants. You know what I mean? And there's different levels and breeders. We've already been all over that, but there takes a lot of knowledge. People are asking me what the strength and the weaknesses of the bloodlines and all. It's more like what traits do those certain strains. I'd say strains, not really bloodlines. You can't really. That's painting with a real broad brush unless you have a small pool in that bloodline, but strains are families of dogs that come off of certain dogs, seem to produce that can produce consistently. If they can produce better than them and can produce consistently, that's when you got dogs that can produce. You know what I mean? And it's more of it takes a lot of hands-on with the dogs to understand like traits. You know what I mean? Like some traits are just in your face, like the Cherry stuff, a lot of the red stuff, a lot of the Bolio, Red Boy Jocko, and all them are extremely fucking loud. Okay, get used to that. If you want to have them dogs, a lot of them are. You might have one particular. What's up, buddy? You wore out. Come here. You might have one particular strain off that stuff that's the quiet, and you might have an anomaly that doesn't make a whole lot of noise and all that shit, but for the most part they're pretty loud. They can be pretty loud. I've been breeding the shit out of Rusty, guys. I got him stuck with her again today. I'm breeding her back. This is a triple bred Dynamite bitch on the top. She's a triple bred Dynamite off that triple bred shit back to a Weird Jack bitch, pure So it's a dynamite weird jack cross underneath Rusty. That'll be interesting. So I don't know nothing about the dog. I'm just doing it for, it's not my dog, it's a friend's dog, but you know, we'll see. I hope they turn out great. You know what I mean? Hush. But yeah, you know, you gotta, and then, you know, when you can take and know what families are doing, you're buying the experience. When you go to somebody that's been in these dogs a long time and is putting thought, and those had like families, if like I'm from my same family, I can breed them dogs easy. Like with these here, like when I put these together, I knew these were going to work. We know every time. I mean, it's just that shit works together. Like, I don't have to put a lot of thought in it. It's easy to do. Whereas, you know, some other dogs, like when you got a dog that maybe you didn't breed or come off of different stuff and all, you might be better off going, you know, if you think you can make them better by going outside the yard, paying a stud fee, whatever, doing a deal with somebody and going outside your yard, that's always smart. Don't get kennel blind or thinking, you know, that your dogs are the shit and there's nothing else to influence them and you got something else. I mean, because there's always, you can add improvements if you really watch the dogs. You can get those dogs on a real keen level, you know. And sometimes you get them in your family, but when you start losing things, okay, when it could be little teeth, you know what I mean? You got to figure out how to put big teeth in there. And I assure you, if you're inbreeding your dogs, or your dogs are real heavy bred and they're getting little teeth, the worst thing you can do is go back into another dog with the same lineage. You need to find something that'll produce teeth. You know what I mean? Same with air, power, back end. That's another thing, things that you got to look for in the structure of animals. If a bitch has got a weak back end, you always want to put a real good, strong back end male on her. Don't put her to another, you know, moon disc stifled ass, you know, weak looking, stifled dog, you know. Even get her some power back there, unless you just can't get anything and that'll cross with yours, you know what I mean, or whatever else. You got to use that one, but always try to improve everything, you know what I mean. And you're building athletes, not bodybuilders. Remember that, guys. A lot of these guys that especially when they're new and they see the real stocky, powerfully built dogs, you know, it goes into a you know, that's what they want, you know, and that's good, you know, especially if that powerfully built dog is got a little to back it up, you know, and it works for him. But usually your dogs that are built about like this one right here is a good example. Something like that. That's your dogs that can hunt good. They got, you know, they're not too overdone. They got good muscle tone, good, you know, good structure. A dog like that can usually stroll along pretty good and they'll do good in the woods for you. If they get too thick and too overdone, a lot of times they can't breathe. I know them little muscle balls look cool and all that shit, but best thing you could do with them is breed them back to one that looks like a fucking Walker hound, you know, and then you'll get your quality working type dog. That's how that's fixed. I mean, but yeah, you can go either way, you know. That's what I got Dixie for. Dixie is back to Rusty. That bitch will throw a good looking puppy, man. And some of them, now we do got a big one off of her. She's bred to him now. I probably never breed her to nothing but Rusty, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, you start understanding that now. And like styles, that's another thing, like traits. People think that's going to throw a style. That's not necessarily true. A good dog's a good dog. They'll be able to work the style they got, like Bullet and Tank, two different styles, okay? Tank's more of a finesse dog. He'll grab the hog right there on the side of the ear, the snout. You know, he's real smart about that. Bullet will go in there and fight that son of a bitch anywhere he can get a hold of him. You know what I mean? And Bullet's it's okay because it works for him. Not a lot of dogs that kind of style can't work for them. They're just not strong enough and don't have enough mouth. A dog that has that kind of style, like a barnstormy type style, he's got to be a man. You know what I'm saying? He's got to have a 10 mouth. He's got to have 10 power, 10 roughness, and it can work for him. But for the most part, most dogs don't have enough going on for a style like that. They have to, you know, they're not always going to be the stronger, you know. When you're catching big hogs, dog is not going to be able to leave him around. He'll shake that motherfucker. They've been telling me about a bunch of them getting wrecked in the woods. I just heard about another one. They killed two. One hog killed two catch dogs the other night. But you know, that's when you gotta have a little finesse in your animal, a little intelligence, you know. No, we ain't doing it. You played enough. You're all lathered up. But you know, it's a lot more to it than just peddling puppies. A whole lot more to it. And you real breeders, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. It ain't peddling when it's fair trade, man. And just y'all remember that. And like I said, these guys that's been doing this shit since the 80s and selling dogs since the 80s and stuff. If people are still buying their fucking dogs, I assure you there's something going on there. You can't there ain't people gonna keep coming back to just buy house pets, you know what I mean, or bullies, you know. Well, maybe bullies. I think that's if people wanted to peddle dogs, that's the kind of shit to peddle is like your foo-foo dogs, your novelty breeds, and shit like that. The guys that are into these dogs, it's a different type of person. This is a pride thing. Nothing makes a dog man feel better than when another dog man wants to use his animals. You know, that's just all there is to it. That's why we do it, for that pride thing. I like, of course, to have enough dogs around, which we got several. I got, 4 or 5 good hunting yards that I send my dogs to that are, then I get them back and all that shit, but there's guys also, man. I mean, I got buddies that say, man, I just want a good catch dog, and I'll give them one. They'll use the shit out of them. They might not have a yard full of dogs, but they can spend a lot of time with one dog and turn him into a really nice animal. You know what I mean? And if that animal does good, and when he's older and I'm ready to start a stud career on him, bam, he's already knows all the redneck games. You know what I mean? But anyway, folks, there's a lot more to it than what a lot of you guys are thinking. But y'all take care, and y'all keep on bulldogging.